Okay.
Am I close enough to the microphone?
And good afternoon and welcome to Straight Talk. This is your Drive at 5 show, and this is Catherine Tyson, your host. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. 943-3700. I would love to hear from you. So at any point in the conversation, you can give us a call, and we just love to hear anything that's on your mind this afternoon. There's a lot going on out there. I mean, it's exciting times, right? Today is Wellness Wednesdays, and you know what we do on Wellness Wednesdays? We talk about wellness. We talk about our health. We talk about our life. We talk about things that are good for us and things that keep us safe, right? So thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. You have an hour of just good news stuff coming up. Today, I actually have an author in the studio, an author of Running for Safety, and that would be Miss Renata Kachkish. And let me tell you something. You want to hear this story. It is something else, and you definitely want to get that book. Women's Day is coming up. It's going to be the actual month of the women. International Women's Day is on March the 8th, but it is going to be International Women's Month. And, you know, we want to be supporting our women. So my daily motivation for the day, you can always tell who the strong women are. They are the ones you see building one another up instead of tearing each other down. That's my motivation for the day, and I absolutely live by it, and I believe it. And so if you're out there doing something different, ladies, stop it, okay? Just stop it. Keep lifting each other up. There's enough room for all of us to shine. Absolutely. And you know, my older ladies, I always say, just usher them through. Just bring them through. Just let's prepare them to take up the reins where we left off, because there's some point we're going to get a little tired and we're going to need a little break, just like our grandmothers did and our mothers did, right? And so how do we do that? How do we make sure the world is left in good hands? By lifting each other up. So thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. And absolutely remember that on Monday, it will be the International Day of the Women. And I am so proud that we have that day. It's been going on for a little while. And we'll be talking a lot about that stuff next week as well. But welcome again. This is Catherine Tyson, your host, and I am here for the next hour with you. Thank you for joining me. All right, I'm going to get straight to my guest because I just want her to start telling us a little bit about what's going on with her and this book, Running for Safety. So good afternoon, Renata.
Good afternoon, Katie. Wow, what an intro. You almost brought tears into my eyes.
Oh, my goodness, wow. Really. Well, your story, it really, you know, it's bringing tears to my eyes as well. So I think we're in great company. Now, I just wanted to just talk to you a little bit about this book. I know that there's a couple of things on there that we will talk about a little later, but tell us a little bit about yourself first, just a little bit about yourself, and kind of bring us up to speed about this book and what's happening with it and what your plans are for it. That's what I would love to know this afternoon. So tell us, who is Renata Kachkish?
She's a rock and roller.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me, and welcome to the show. My name is Renata Kachkish, originally from Hungary, but Cayman has been my home since 2005. Like you said, I'm here to empower women, share my strength and knowledge as a trained bodyguard and a certified self-defense instructor. I truly believe that if you really want to become your own bodyguard, you have to take some time to learn how to protect yourself. If you feel safe in your skin, if you feel confident, you're more likely to excel in your personal, in your private life. Absolutely. So if self-defense and situational awareness was like your level of fitness, if you would look into the mirror and you would see that, oh, you know what, I gained a few pounds, I need to hit the gym, you will hit the gym right away.
Right.
Or you will start a new diet, but you cannot see your vulnerabilities when you look into the mirror. So I'm on a crusade to remind women especially, but also I don't want to exclude men from this conversation, right, that they are the number one bodyguards.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not here to raise paranoia, but every now and then when we travel, and we all travel from this tiny friendly island, either for business or for pleasure, we have a bite of a different kind of reality. So you have to be heads up about your safety and security.
You're right. You're so right. Because I just remember, as you're saying that, I remember once I was traveling to the States, and I think it was Miami, and I was sitting in the car with the woman who I was with. She's like, "What are you doing? Like, roll your window up. You're not in the Cayman Islands." You know, like somebody could grab your phone or grab. And I was just like, "Wow," because I wasn't in that mind frame at that point. Because, like you said, it's this lovely, friendly island.
You know what? I'm so glad you shared this story with me, because I have a similar story that actually led me into this path.
Okay.
Back in the days when I was young and reckless, was it around 2009?
Right.
I developed a love affair with Africa, and I said, I want to do something extraordinary. So I registered an NGO here in Cayman. It got 1,000 pairs of little shoes.
Okay.
And for 4 years, I've been supplying shoes across East Africa and also in Haiti. I reached many, many refugee camps, slums, and orphanages. And once, when we were on the way to North Uganda to deliver shoes for former child soldiers, we were stuck in a traffic in Kampala, which is the capital of Uganda. And I completely forgot about myself. At that point, I was already in East Africa for 2 months, and it just felt so natural to open the window.
Right.
I forgot that I was not in Cayman or not in Hungary.
Right. Right.
And while I was on the phone, all of a sudden, this local guy reached through the window, and he pushed me. He tried to take away my phone while I was on it.
Wow.
And without any hesitation, without any military background, I just charged at him. And actually, my bus driver had to grab my jacket and pull me. Just let him go. I said, no, I'm going to go after him. So I go, oh my God, where is this wild women coming from?
Right.
So that's where I recognized that I'm naturally maybe more aggressive than others. So I said, you know what, I need to put it into good use. And that was the beginning of my career in the private clothes protection industry.
Okay, absolutely. I mean, that
eventually led me here.
Yeah, that is a great story. I want to read something that you had sent me. It says, your goal is to extend that brief moment into an extended period of time to celebrate women who choose to be strong each and every day. And you think it's safe to say women are natural superheroes. Some women give birth, run a family, run a household, run a company, and in between run to PTA meetings. Some women run for Congress, run to save endangered animals, save endangered animals from distinction, run to discover medicine to heal the sick, even literally run ultra marathons to show the world we can do it. But there is also another kind of run that many women participate in. It's a long and challenging race. It aims to highlight the importance of protecting the safety of women across the globe and to women worldwide will suffer, and or me, no one is left untouched. And that's basically how we segue into talking about this book, Running for Safety.
You know what? Let me pat myself in the back for a sec. I have quite a few books written about self-defense for women at home. They're all boring and long, and every single time I muscle myself through the book, I was banging my head in the wall. Right. Oh, it was so boring. I would never give it to a friend.
Right.
That's when I get an idea to do something extraordinary with an aggressive cover that will pop off the bookshelf, and that can be your ultimate self-defense manual while you're having your pedicure done. Like you just quoted me from the book.
Right.
Women like yourself.
Yeah.
You are an absolute superhero for me.
Oh, well, thank you.
You have 3 children, you do the radio, you teach, you wear many, many hats.
Right.
So I believe at the end of the day, you don't want to be bothered with the book as long as Peace and War from Tolstoy.
Right.
And something that would not even interest you.
Right.
At the end of the day, you can sit down with a nice glass of wine, and you can, according to Amazon, it takes only an hour and 20 minutes to read my book. So it's a short yet comprehensive safety manual.
Okay. And so in that book too, and we'll look through that as we continue to talk, because you're going to be with me for the hour, okay?
Okay.
And so we'll look through it, because I really want everybody to kind of run out and get this book, and you'll be able to share some of the things that are in it. But like you said, it really is a manual. So in every chapter, someone can get something out of it that they can use.
Yeah, they're independent chapters, and according to World Health Organization, women who are mostly exposed to everyday violence are women between the age of 14 and 50, just roughly. So in this book, you find chapters for all demographics in between this age. So there is a chapter called Let's Get Ready for College.
Right.
And those are the girls who, and also boys who are more concerned about, they live in this very safe, friendly bubble we call Cayman Islands.
Right.
But once they leave for college to North America, back to Europe or wherever life takes them, they will be on their own. They will go to spring break. They will go to parties. They will need to be armed with knowledge, how to recognize party drugs in your drink, how to recognize if somebody means harm to you.
Right.
So I truly believe that with every single chapter, I managed to execute my goal, which was remind of the value of common sense.
Right. Well, funny enough that you said that, of my three children, my daughter is the one who decided she wanted to go to New York because she wanted to be an actress and a model, and she's done amazing. So kudos to her. But my sons went to North Carolina, which is a very safe place, and my daughter wants to go to New York City.
Good for her.
Right.
Good for her. I would say you cannot live your life in fear.
Right. And she did. And she was completely, the things that she was able to tell me that she learned about having to pay attention to your surroundings and to protect yourself and keep yourself safe. It's amazing that, she was able to do that after never leaving this island since she was 4 years old, and then to be able to navigate that big city, and so I think this book would be really good for our young women and our young men that are traveling abroad, like you said.
As a matter of fact, there is a chapter as well, how to travel safe and sound on your own. I don't want to go off the track, but it was 2011 when crop has failed to grow in Somalia, and this civil war was going on for decades. So millions of refugees were pouring into Kenya, and the United Nations High Commission of Refugees established. Back then, it was the biggest refugee camp in the world. And I was on my way back to Kenya with a couple of thousands of shoes anyways. So I reached out to the UN and I said, I want to join the convoy and I want to bring thousands of shoes for these refugee kids walking long, long miles, some of them for weeks from Somalia to Kenya.
Right.
But I gotta go, I need to know. Once again, I had no prior military training. But one of my good friend, he was an ex-SES guy. So I emailed him, Andy, I'm going to this refugee camp, which is just 60 miles away from the Somali border in Kenya. Any safety advices? And he says, yeah, stay put, don't go there. Why do you want to go there? Right. Because that's my call. That's what I'm trying to prove. I'm trying to prove that fear will not going to flick me away down to a little comfort zone. So I had a safety plan in my mind. I knew what to do in case I was in danger. And nothing happened to me. I don't know if it was just fate or me being prepared.
Right.
But like I say in the book, whenever you go for vacation, come up with a daily plan. Know how to go from A to B, what bus to take. Don't just stay in the cheapest hotel, but stay something that is closer to things that you want to visit.
Right.
It's closer to downtown, or don't stay in the most expensive hotel, which is just unnecessary either.
Right. I love that. I love the fact that you're kind of giving practical advice. So it's not, it's the self-defense, but it's really keeping yourself safe.
Yeah.
So that's like some extra nuggets people can get from the book. And I'm looking at the pages. It's about maybe 50 without the photos. Let's see, it stops about maybe 49, 50. So it's about 55 pages, but maybe the writing alone might be 30 of those pages. So it's a very quick read. Yeah. Very simple.
You can just slide it into your handbag.
I love it. I'm going to read this. I'm absolutely going to read this book.
I truly hope that, especially after meeting me, and now I'm telling you that I tic-tac across Africa as a Eastern European woman for years. I really did travel a lot. you will trust my safety tips in that book,
Yeah.
because I understand there's so many self-defense instructors out there, especially women, who have this fashionably referred war stories that I remember one day when I was attacked. That I don't want to discredit them. I mean, everybody has a story, but who would you really ask for safety advice? Someone who was targeted and learned her lesson, or someone who was never targeted, never picked out?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So my goal is
Yeah.
to keep you out of
Oh,
harm's way.
that's an interesting take. That's an interesting way to look at it. Someone who's never targeted because you've been doing some right things. Yeah.
Trust me, Kathleen,
like
I've
that.
been to places, sometimes I'm thinking, oh my, if my parents could see the world through my lenses,
Right.
they would just pull their hair out.
What are you doing?
I like to
Yeah.
challenge fate.
Okay.
But
So, and you've traveled a
it's my
lot.
way.
You've traveled a lot in your life then. Yeah.
I have, yes.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I'm going to read something else that you sent on. I have no military background, which you just said, and I have not been practicing martial arts all my life. I do not have a fashionably referred emotional war story to make your eyes watery either. Do you know why? Because I have never been assaulted, victimized, or in other words, singled out as a potentially easy target. As a young civilian woman with no prior security training, I recognized that to travel the world free of fear, that I must become my own bodyguard. Once I realized that my personal safety and stability, I decided to embark on an exciting journey to become a security professional. I have not been pushed to pursue a career in the security industry by my family, and stepping onto the private close protection path was not a strategic career call. I have arrived to this path by faith and by the love of the adventurous life of mine that I love to live. So in other words, you're going to keep living that life, but you just want to make sure that you're safe.
Yes, and I just want to make sure who I come in contact with, and whoever is on the same path like me, I can empower them or give them a little bit of my strength.
Right.
I'm not a Wonder Woman. I don't want anybody to think that I don't have dark days or weak days or days when I don't question myself. I do, but those are the days when you have to crank up Earth, Wind, and Fire very loud in the morning and
Right.
consciously decide to put on something colorful and be happy about who you are and where you are.
Okay. Now, what do you want to see happen with this book? Like, what's in your kind of your dream cup for this
I
book?
would love Hollywood to pick it up and make a movie out of it, and I would like Angelina Jolie to play my part.
Okay. I think you need to play your own part because Angelina Jolie is older than you.
Joke aside, there's this great multi-year project
Because
proposed.
you do remind me of Tomb Raider, by the way.
Oh, I mean, it must be the hair, yeah.
It's the hair, maybe. Okay.
There's this multi-year project proposed by the European Union and the United Nations. It's called Spotlight Initiative.
Okay.
They are aiming to reach, I believe it's 12 sustainable development goals by 2030.
Okay.
They have already announced a few focus countries. One of the focus countries in the Caribbean region is Honduras. There are 8 focus countries in Africa. And as we all know, women face different challenges in different parts of the world. But my ultimate goal is to these 2 huge bodies to recognize that teaching self-defense for young girls and women is just as important as teach them economics or math or whatever it is.
Wow.
So I really hope that this book will help me kind of buy into the industry, and I will be able to pursue bigger NGOs to jump on board with me.
Okay, great.
And maybe have it as something mandatory in schools.
Right. So what do you do with your NGO right now? Because you said you started it. It was called, what was it called?
1,000 pairs of little shoes.
1,000 pairs of little shoes. Do you still have that?
No, I was in operation for 4 years. Roughly, I delivered 9,000 pairs of shoes.
Okay.
I was East African, also in Haiti. But everything comes to its end. So after some time, and it was actually by that incident in Uganda,
Okay.
I said, I'm going to focus on something else. And instead of giving shoes, I'm going to give knowledge of situational awareness.
Okay.
Actually, I'm still going back to Africa after living in and out of Africa for so long. I can say I have an extended family there. So just 2-3 years ago, I spent 6 weeks. I've been traveling from Zimbabwe to Zambia and Botswana, where I taught over 300 women self-defense.
Wow. That
Yeah.
must feel good.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's a win-win for everyone.
So are you doing that here on island?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I can tell you, I've been proudly representing the Cayman Islands for the last 4 or 5 years. November the 19th is an International Women's Self-Defense Day.
Okay.
That's organized by NGO based out of California.
Okay.
So what happens is on that day, self-defense instructors around the globe get host a self-defense class for women for free.
Okay.
So I've been doing it. I've been representing Cayman for the last 4 or 5 years.
Oh, great.
Which is
and you're teaching self-defense on island currently?
Yes.
Okay. So people can sign up with you? Like how would people get in contact with you for something like this?
I have corporate packages. I have family packages.
Where would they be able to get you? Where would they be able to find you then?
I can be found on social media.
Okay.
That's the easiest.
Under what name?
If you just go on Facebook and you put in Renata K Self Protection International,
okay,
my page will pop up and you will see all my contact details.
All right. So Renata.
Same thing on Instagram. I believe the younger ones are more active on Instagram.
Yes.
So it's Renata K self protection.
Okay.
INT.
RENATAK. Yeah. Right. So Renata K underscore self protection. Dot self-protection. Okay. Yeah. Usually you put in something, it offers you some, choices anyway. So it's really good. No, that's actually really, really good. I think, people should definitely be involved. So, and unfortunately the Facebook crowd are sometimes the older crowd, and though they might be the people that are really interested in getting this for the Instagram crowd, because they're the moms of the Instagram crowd.
Like I said, they're the younger crowd.
Right, they're the moms of those people.
But I've hosted many classes before for teens. I invited for a 16-year-old girl's birthday party.
Awesome.
So I go, oh, this is cool. Instead of the clan, they have a self-defense instructor. We're just so smart. It was just such a blast.
Great.
Girls had so much fun. And
all right. So I'm going to read a quote from the book. You're listening to Straight Talk. This is your Drive at 5 show. I'm Catherine Tyson, your host. You're listening to the voice of Renata Kachkish, and she is the author of Running for Safety. And we're just chatting about self-defense, really, and just keeping women safe. A quote from the book, Running for Safety. Even before the pandemic, violence against women was one of the most widespread and shameful violations of human rights. According to data from WHO, 1 in 3 women would face gender-based violence in her lifetime. With COVID-19 sweeping through the world, leaving global economical crisis and frustration caused by unemployment and uncertainty, violence against women has become a shadow pandemic. What we have learned from the pandemic is that home is not a safe place for many women and girls who are subjected to domestic violence. I challenge the status quo every day as a trained bodyguard who considers protecting other women and children my duty. As a certified self-defense instructor, empowering women by giving them the knowledge of situational awareness and self-defense, it's my passion. My efforts aim to inspire women to have the confidence and ability to stand up not only for themselves, but also for those who violence against women and girls, only if we stand united with our efforts and activism to create moral awareness. And that was a quote from the book, as well as, I guess, your take on it. I think this would lead me then to the question of, how the pandemic you think has challenged gender equality issues, but also in what you just touched on. You're so right. During the lockdown, a lot of women were in closed quarters, and it's still existing throughout the world. It's not because Cayman is our lucky little jewel, right, in the world right now, not even the jewel of the Caribbean, where we're not wearing masks, we're not on lockdown, but a lot of the world around us is on lockdown, still quarantined, still wearing masks, and so women have been affected, really. So how do you think explain that statement to me about what the pandemic.
Let me just start with a different approach, and just get this out of the way. What has inspired me to write
Right.
this book?
Right.
Pandemic and strong women equals empowerment and inspiration for me.
Okay.
So many women like yourself had no choice but put on many, many hats. And besides working full time from home remotely, guys had to be full time. She inspired me to write the book. Women household for help, and unfortunately, still the sad reality for many. I The book is on Amazon Kindle. I'm not sure if somebody after this interview would just phone up their friends or relatives somewhere where their lockdown is still in effect and say, listen, there's this book on Amazon Kindle, buy it, and that maybe help you to step out of dark into light. But who knows, if I can just help one woman, just one, I would say my job is done.
Right.
As Kim is doing so well in helping women who encounter violence at home, unit, crisis center, family resource center, just so many organizations, so many people who are here support. There is a system in place everywhere. They're emotionally attached to their partners were abusing men from us. I don't want to exclude them from the conversation, but we must recognize the difference between connection and attachment. If we are in a loving relationship, we develop connection, but that connection can fade away if our love is challenged by frustration caused by pandemic, money worries, and so on. There's so many lists, goes on and on and on.
Right.
So that connection can become attachment. And then we are attached to each other because we have a joint bank account, we have mortgage to pay, we have kids. But it doesn't mean that you need to endure either emotional, physical, or sexual, or financial abuse.
Right. Right. Definitely. I mean, and I think that kind of leads me to just think about, it is Wellness Wednesday, so we're talking about just, mind, body, spirit, wellness, and taking care of yourself. I think, and what you're talking about too, if you're in a situation like that, like it is good to know how to protect yourself, but it's also good for you to know that that's not what your life should look like. It shouldn't look like you having to fight back and be able to overpower your abuser. It really should be about you moving yourself from that situation.
You just said wellness, mind, body, spirit. If somebody is abusing you, and once again, let me highlight here something: emotional abuse. Most of the self-defense books that I own and which are out in the market, they teach you how to put somebody into a headlock.
Right.
I've never had a boyfriend, not like I dated many guys, who I ever had to put into a headlock.
Right.
But some of them challenged me, and I had to know how to protect my heart.
Right.
So in my book, there's a chapter that says real love should not hurt.
Right.
If you let someone humiliate you, make you feel invisible, or betray your trust or love, then you are emotionally abused. And that's like pollution. It goes into your system. And even though pollution doesn't kill you instantly, eventually it can live in the same place where the stab wound into your heart. It just chips away the life stem.
Absolutely. We're going to come back and we're going to talk some more about that, because you said some things that I definitely want to catch up on and share with the listeners. And I definitely want to hear from you guys. 9433700. This is your Straight Talk Drive at 5 show. We are talking to Renata Kachkish, who is the author of Running for Safety. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more. Don't you touch that dial.
How is it going? Can you understand me easily? Kind of worried about my accent.
And welcome back to Straight Talk. This is your Drive at 5 show, and this is Catherine Tyson, your host. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. It is Wellness Wednesdays, and on Straight Talk on Wednesdays, we try to talk about our health, our overall health, our mind, our body, our spirit. How are we taking care of ourselves? Today, I actually have in the studio an author of a book called Running for Safety, and it's your ultimate self-defense manual that you can read while you're just having your pedicure done. It's that easy to read, and her name is Renata Kachkish. And thank you so much, Renata, for joining me this afternoon on the show to talk about this project, this book, really, that I think will eventually just become a project, right?
It is already a project. It's
Absolutely.
Not just a book. It is definitely a milestone, but I'm not even close to where I want to be.
Good
with my efforts.
Good. And I think, this is the way to do it, right? To work together. Women's Day, International Women's Day is coming up next Monday, March the 8th. But the entire month of March is International Women's Month, right? It's the month of women, and it's really about working together to empower each other. And because women are, at the center of everything, right? There are mothers and sisters and daughters and cousins and everybody, aunties and all of these people that affect all of our lives that have the messages, right? Or need the messages that they can share with each other. So I think this is just such a really, really good time for you to be doing this as well, and just touching these lives. And like we were talking during the break about the lives that you've touched, or the people that you've come in contact with that you would not have met otherwise outside of something like this.
You know what, when a few years ago I was in Zambia, after a 1-hour self-defense class, the girl came to me and she says, I would like to just say thank you from the bottom of my heart. You made us all idea what we're going to learn, and we did not know how to protect ourselves, and you came all the way from the Caribbean, and we just feel like we just gained a new sister.
Right.
I go like, you know what, if you really enjoyed what you learned, just share it with your mom, with your sister, with your cousins.
That's right.
Because this is how we build a community of strong women, or if you like, a sisterhood, or it's a tribe. It's a sisterhood that support one another. And like you said wonderfully in your intro, real women, we complement each other, we build up each other.
That's right.
We don't compete.
No, we don't have to. There's enough room for us all to shine.
Yeah.
Like I always say that, ever since I was a very young woman, I really got that because a beautiful woman walked into the room did not make me not beautiful. It just meant it was 2 of us now, or it's 3 or it's 10 of us. And I think if we could really get that as women, just as people in general, right? Because we sometimes talk about Caymanians need to stick together. We need to talk about people, from different races. We need to stick together. Like literally, we're of the human race. We need to uplift each other. 100%. Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
Do you remember this old commercial for this clothing brand, Benetton?
Yeah.
United Colors of Benetton.
United Colors of Benetton.
I absolutely loved it. You could never say how many nationalities were in that commercial. Maybe there was just one,
right?
But they all look different.
Absolutely.
And this is the beauty of life.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
I'm from Hungary. You're from here, but we meet in a common ground. We're both women.
That's right. Yeah. And we have the similarities. Like when I published my book, it was about my life as a single mother, right? And I met so many women during that time. And I remember a lady staying behind to meet me at an event that I went to. And she walked up to me and she was this beautiful, tall, white woman with blonde, curly hair. And she said, I just needed to meet you because I want you to know that you and I could not be more different from what people would see. She said, I'm white, I'm American. I'm not a mother. Like she went down the list of all the things that she was that I wasn't. And she said, and I related to your story so much. She said, there's so much things in your story. And literally you would think, okay, you're talking about being a mother to children, but you were talking about being a woman and you were talking about your experiences. And there were so many things that I could laugh at and I could see myself in. So you're absolutely right. We're so much more alike than we are different. And that's what we should be focused on, right?
Like I told you before, I was born in Hungary. I hope Hungarian listeners out there, they're not going to shoot me for this, but Hungary, generally speaking, a very conservative and, if you like, narrow-minded nation.
Yeah.
So from that narrow-minded country, I started to travel all around the world, but eventually I landed here.
Right.
And when I came here, I didn't know a single soul. And my closest friends are not Hungarians. Not like there's anything wrong with Hungarians out there. Maybe with a few of them, but
right. Well, there's something wrong with everybody.
My closest friends are from all over.
Right.
And you don't have to have the same skin color. You don't have to like the same music. You just have to be kind at heart, and that's how you buy into my life.
That's right.
If you're kind, if you have great intentions, then we can be friends.
And that's what matters. And you know what? When you're talking earlier before the break, and that's why I wanted to come back, some of the things I wanted to address when we came back, you said something about a headlock, like, you're not going to put a guy in a headlock. And I'm looking at you and I'm like, you look like a warrior princess. Like, I don't think anybody's going to mess with you. And as I was thinking that when you were saying it, it just made sense to me, just about the way that we stride, right? Your stride, the way that you walk, the way that you hold yourself up. That those are some of the things that we can learn in the way that we carry ourselves too, because sometimes people can almost like give off a victim air about themselves. And so that's something I think that's really important that we work on. And it doesn't mean that anything won't happen or can't happen, because it can at any time. You never know. But to really try to empower yourself or empower the women or the people in your lives, that they feel strong and they feel confident and they feel capable, right? Because that's how they're going to get all of the great things in life that are out there to get.
I'm glad you brought it up, because now the final chapter in my book called Let's Bust BS with Common Sense. And for all listeners out there, BS stands for belief systems. So one of the most outdated and ridiculous belief systems, which are being preached by many martial art instructors. I understand they are trying to make money, but they're just selling BS, and now you translate BS the way you want it.
Okay. I'm gonna keep belief systems here.
What do you do if your attacker is a big guy? Well, first of all, to be trained to such a level where you can put someone in a headlock that they cannot get out takes so much money, time, discipline. Trust me on that, because I went to Russia to train system of Spetsnaz, which is a fighting system used by the Russian special forces.
Right.
Low-life thugs will not do that. They're looking for an easy target.
Okay.
So I really want people to leave big guys with tattoos and leather jackets alone. Right. No, your opponent or the guy who creeps up on you can look so normal,
right?
Like Epstein, and I don't want to throw in big names. I don't want anybody to attack me for this, but there are so many sexual predators out there who look like a guy from next door, like Joe the plumber, but they are not.
Right. And they're psychopaths.
Adjusted socially well,
Right.
And also, Edwin, you have 3 kids, I'm sure your answer will be yes. Have you ever been headbutted by a baby in your nose?
Absolutely. Yeah.
How much does it hurt?
It hurts a lot.
It hurts a lot. You see, I just demonstrated a vital point.
Right.
It doesn't matter how big or strong your opponent is.
It's the technique then, right?
Not even the technique. You have to fight like a honey badger.
Okay.
And you need to go for those vulnerable targets that no one can train. You said, I might come across as a warrior trainer. Yeah, I do train a lot.
Right.
I'm physically very strong. But if you try to gouge my eyes out, if you hit me in the throat, if you hurt my cheekbones, if you rupture my eardrums, you cause me injury, which means I will be left there on the ground and I will not able to go after you or to anybody else.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, martial art is overrated when it comes for self-defense. Go out there, see some guys, be acquainted with the feeling of being touched. How would you react if a strange man touches you?
Right.
But what I truly believe in, I'm going to say it very, very slowly. Hopefully it's going to sink in. Techniques get you into trouble.
Okay.
Principles save your life.
Okay.
That's why we're talking about situational awareness before we talk about self-defense.
Okay. And so what's the difference between techniques and principles then?
My principle is that if we go out tonight and we have a few drinks, I'm not going to walk home.
Okay.
I'm not even going to walk to my car on my own.
Oh, wow. That's good. Good stuff.
But I'm going to think my way out of being in a potential bad situation.
Right.
If you're walking after me while I'm about to open my car and you say, hey, sweetie, can I catch a ride with you? I'm not going to say, oh, no, because, you know what, my boyfriend is waiting for me. First off, I would lie because I don't have a boyfriend.
Right.
And then after my second, I would just say with a firm voice, no, get away from me.
Okay.
So with the tone of your voice, you send a conscious
Oh,
or subtle
wow.
message that you're not going to go down without a fight.
Oh, wow.
And I did
like
not even
that.
move.
I like that. I really do. Because I think, because I'm that explainer person, because I'm such a nice guy, you know, and
Yeah.
you know, and you're right. Like that has gotten me into problems, not needing to fight for my life, right? Or protect myself physically, but it has gotten me into problems where somebody will not walk away from me.
Yeah.
But you're right. When you say it like that,
I'm sure
you're not inviting
these are
anything.
outdated
I
safety
like
tips.
that.
Say that, oh, I'm on the phone with my boyfriend. My boyfriend is going to come and pick me up.
Right.
It's not going to keep you out of harm's way.
Right.
Because
Wow.
whether you have somebody on the way or not, you cannot wait for a hero. You cannot tell to the guy who
You
wants
got
to
to be your
kidnap
own
that,
hero.
hey, listen, exactly,
Got to be your own hero.
your own bodyguard.
Yeah. Okay.
That
No,
guy is not
that's
going to
good.
say, you know what, then let me check. Maybe his boyfriend is a geeky guy. I can take him out before I can take you to a secondary location. No, that you're just going to be grabbed.
He's grabbing you. Yeah.
It's always action versus reaction.
Wow.
What do you think? What is faster, action or reaction?
Action? Reaction. I don't know. You tell me.
All right, let's play a little game. Hold on.
Okay. Let's play it.
Okay, hold up your hands.
Okay. I got my hands up.
No, when I clap, you clap.
Okay.
Close to the microphone.
All right.
The listeners
So
can.
yeah, and for the
can judge.
listeners, we're going to be clapping now. Okay. Go
All
ahead.
right.
Let's see. My
So,
hands.
Kathleen, I clap, you clap.
Okay.
Oh, what happened there?
I was slower.
You were slower.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
action is always faster than reaction.
Okay.
So what I say in my book is you have to know how to think your way out, how to talk your way out. And if fighting is your last resort, you have to fight like an inmate.
Oh, wow.
And you're not going to just wait around to see what he's going to do to you or she's going to do to you.
You got to be ready.
Have your opponent worry about what you have in your magic hat.
Okay. All right. So it's not about reaction. It's about you moving.
Yeah. Just
You
don't
have to
forget
be
there are
on the
always
move.
legal consequences, but
Right.
it's
And you talk
It's-
about that in the book as well.
Yeah.
Legal consequences, which is good.
it's a universally accepted fact that if you are not a primary aggressor, then the law has been set to protect you.
Okay.
What I've learned when I was going through my training in England is that you have to be reasonable and proportionate, meaning if you come at me with bare hands, I'm not allowed to stab you.
Okay.
Once again, I don't want the listeners to think that I'm encouraging people here to be violent. However, let's just play a little scenario here. Katrina, you're at home preparing dinner for your three beautiful kids. A home intruder comes in and he's obviously, you can sense your gut feelings tell you, he's after you, he's about to sexually insult you. But you were about to chop up a salad and you have a knife in your hand.
Right.
So if you're going to, I don't say that stop someone to death, but if you're going to stop him in the abs, stop him in the thighs, you're going to cause injury.
Right.
While he's suffering, you can get away, call 911, and guess what? Are you going to be in a news report? Yes or no?
Yeah.
You will be in a news
Yes.
report, but not as a victim, but as a hero.
Right. Okay.
As a hero. And I'm pretty sure that your family would much rather go and visit you in the courtroom than in a morgue.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, keep in mind
Yeah,
that
these
there are
are
legal
some- yeah.
consequences,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, you come first.
Well, that was very serious what you said, which, you know, it does make a lot of sense. It really does. Okay, so you're listening to Renata Kachkiss. She is the author of Running for Safety, Your Ultimate Self-Defense Manual. And it's very simple. It's a simple read. You want to go out and get this book for sure. Can you tell the readers, tell the listeners where they can actually get the book? And you're going to be having your book launch. So let's talk about that, because I'd love people to come out and meet you. I mean, if you're listening to her, you got to see her. What are you like? How tall are you? What are you, 5 feet, 5'2"? What are you?
Trust me, sometimes I feel like I'm
7
like
feet
7
tall.
feet tall.
you sound like you are, but you're not. You're just a little thing. So they
I'm
really
a tiny
do.
little shrimp, but with a
Yes.
big part and conquer a big world.
roar too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The
So
wildfire in
yes,
the making.
absolutely. And you've written this book for for just everybody that can pick this up. It's a couple of chapters are situational awareness. It's the foundation of your safety. Talks about the legal consequences. Let's get ready for college that you mentioned before. How to travel smart and safe. Home alone. Real love does not hurt. And busting the BS, which is belief systems with common sense. As well as stranger, no danger. What's stranger, no danger?
Oh,
What is that one? What is that
That's
chapter?
my other nemesis.
Okay.
When parents tell their kids, "Oh, stranger danger." No, strangers don't mean danger.
Right.
Okay, I was just a stranger to you an
That's
hour
it.
ago,
That's it.
and we
Yeah.
befriended each other.
That's right. Yeah.
I think what parents need to teach to their kids is how to be assertive, not to live in fear. When they shift apart in the shopping mall, would that kid is going to ask for help? Is he going to go to information desk? Is he going to ask for help from someone with a stroller? Or if this kid's going to go up to the bar and ask the lone man?
Right.
It's all about
Right.
being assertive. So
Right.
stranger danger, let's just forget about it.
This sounds really this just sounds like this book is just helping you to think, right? It's just to engage your brain. So it's not even just about, protecting yourself physically, but also very mentally, like making good decisions and, positioning yourself in the right way before you can run upon a problem. And in the event that you do run upon a problem, you know how to address it. That's what it feels like with this book.
My classes are, generally speaking, 60 minutes. Normally we run over because the girls always have some extra questions. But the first 2/3 of the class is about situational awareness. It's very, very interactive.
Okay.
So with my questions, I try to stimulate the minds of the girls who come to the class. I have them find the right answer. And then the last bit of the class, I demonstrate easy to learn, easy to remember, and easy to execute moves.
Good.
Which works for all body size.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. So tell us about your upcoming book launch.
Yes, my book release will be happening this Friday,
Right.
5th of March, the beautiful Luca restaurant.
Happy hour.
At Caribbean Club. Oh, we will all be very happy.
It's
Yes,
5
yes.
o'clock.
I'm going to welcome everybody with a glass of Prosecco. And I invited a great group of strong women and also lovely men who love and support us.
Okay. So 5 o'clock.
Great crowd, yes.
Okay.
From 5 to 7.
Okay.
At 6 o'clock, I'm going to say a few words about the book.
Okay.
But it will be great fun.
That'd be
and
great.
Also, you know what? Luca has a DJ down at the beach. So I think after the book release, we're all going to go down to the beach, listen to the DJ, watch the sunset, have some cocktails. I think it's going to be an afternoon spending great spirit and energy. And everybody is welcome to join me.
That's great. Okay, so everybody is welcome to come to this, and they can come and meet the author, Renata Kachkish. How much is this book?
It is $18.99.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
The book will be there, available, and
no, that's exciting. There. So also just tell the listeners once again where they can find you on your Facebook and your Instagram. Just repeat that so that they can tell you. And also if there are any upcoming classes, if they're interested in anything like that, just how they'd be able to just get involved with that, because maybe somebody wants to take a self-defense class.
Yeah. So I think I can be quite easily found on Facebook, also on social media. Just look for Renata K Self-Protection, but you can just put into Google search Renata K Self-Protection INT International. So my website will pop up when you can read my bio and you can read about what I have to offer. I'm here for private classes, for a group of girls, for families, for corporations. I have different packages. I think the safety rules are universal because they make sense. However, when it is a class particularly for teens, then my teaching materials are different than if it was a class that needed to be delivered to a corporation. Like I told you at the beginning of the interview, I'm a trained female bodyguard. We specialize in the protection of women and kids. So I don't want anybody to feel intimidated. I know what a very first time when I step into a martial art training ring or a gym, I felt so intimidated. I didn't know what to expect. Thought it was a fight club. No, there's no need to feel intimidation. Um, I like to believe that I have this warm personality that is very welcoming.
Right.
So just come down and book either a one-on-one class or a group class. I'll be more than happy to expand my network of strong women and men.
All right. So if they're able to reach out to you, then they can send a message and then you'll get back to them.
Yeah.
I wanted, before we close off today's show, I wanted to just look at one portion of the book and have you talk about it, because I see Home Alone and I see a couple of steps that I think are really, really interesting, that people maybe don't realize when they're when they're living on their own.
Yeah, I don't want to cut you up here, but just when we went into lockdown, I actually have received quite a number of emails from single women,
right,
saying, listen, I live on my own.
Exactly.
What do I do? How can I secure my house? I'm on a low budget.
Right.
So all the safety tips which are written in there, you may want to read a few tips, maybe not.
Yeah,
it's all
I
in
think
there.
So.
Those are safety tips, just so simple, and you can do it on a low budget.
Right. I love it, because I'm looking at, I'm just going to read it. Living alone is good in some ways. The biggest advantage is that you have more freedom and you can enjoy your personal space. Meanwhile, it's a disadvantage also with the safety and security. So as we all live in different countries or cities, belong to different demographics and have a different budget, etc., it's not easy to give general safety advice that would be relevant to all. Also, danger can have many different faces and motives. It can be anyone from a crazy ex, a delusional admirer, an obsessed stalker, to a low-life burglar who is a buddy of your gardener. Right?
We all heard of an inside job before.
Some might be after your valuables.
Like I said, you have to be assertive.
Some might be after your valuables, but some might be after you. And it just resonated with me because we do live in a small community, and I hear a lot of women that talk about a crazy ex, that talk about an obsessed person that won't leave them alone. And so I just thought this was really interesting. Some of the tips are: choose a safe apartment. So where you're choosing your apartment is really important. Like, where is it located? Is it well lighted? So it's not just about how much it costs, right? But take the time to do your research. Visit the place at night as well as during the day.
And don't ask the realtor, ask your neighbors, or ask maybe the former tenant who lived there, why are you moving out? What are the issues?
That's right.
Not only the area, but with the house itself. Does it have termites? Okay, now that's the deal breaker.
Exactly. And number 2, befriend your neighbors. I think this is really important because people need to know, right, if something looks kind of awry at your house. Like, if you have good neighbors, they'll say, oh, I noticed such and such was happening there, or somebody drove up and dropped it out. And that's always good, because you can't be everywhere. You can't see everything. And I know, as a single mother, that was important to me, that people were kind of, having eyes on my kids when I might not have been there, because I can't be everywhere, right? So that was good. Be each other's security system was another point.
Read about the dog bowl. That's my favorite, I think.
So always keep, we're getting there. Always keep an outdoor light on at night. That's something, because sometimes you're turning it off because, to save on electricity, but actually it's saying, if you hear a suspicious noise outside that would fire up your gut feelings, you'll have better vision to the outside. And also, they know they'll be seen, as opposed to, if it's dark, they can actually be on your porch or out by your door and you wouldn't even see them. I
always say there are certain things in life that you cannot put a price on. That would be your safety, security, and your health.
Absolutely.
And your mental health, were that little bit of extra.
I like that.
What the electricity bill would cost.
Right. Leave a few tiny lights up on within your home too. Wow, that's good too, right? A few light plug socket lamps placed from your bedroom to the dedicated safe room, or your safety exit point, in case you have more than one entry or exit point in your house. It'll provide you with enough light to be able to move quickly in case you need to.
I absolutely love them.
Yes.
I've been having them for a number of years. It's a teeny tiny light. You just plug it on. It will provide you with a dual light. Normally, once a night, I wake up to get some water or whatever, and instead of banging my head into all the walls, it just provides me with light straight to the kitchen. Right. And also, when you wake up, you don't have to, your eyes don't have to adjust to this bright light.
Right, right. And
You have
now
better
this
vision.
one, Barricade Easy Entry Spots. Explain that one.
So quite a few years ago, I lived up in West Bay, and there was a number of break-ins, and I lived on my own.
Okay.
So what I did before I went to sleep, I had a little bit of checklist. What do I do? So how do I barricade the front door? So in case if I sleep very, very deep and somebody wants to come in, they cannot come in.
Right.
So you just
okay.
push there a couch or whatever.
Chair or something. Yeah. Okay. Trim the vegetation around the house. That's good. I know sometimes because I have mango trees, I talk about them all the time, and sometimes they get a little bit where they're hanging too low, and we need to like cut them so that I can see. Because sometimes they hang so low that I'm not able to see around that corner of my house. So I'll just get them cut so I can have
you
a
have a
clear
better visibility.
Yeah, because anyone could be there and I wouldn't know. Get a dog. You like that one? That's a good
You know
one.
what I like even more than dogs, even though I have a dog now.
What do you like more than dogs?
Not to have a dog.
Okay.
It's a huge commitment. It's a lot of work.
It's a company.
It
Right
is
now,
a
my
company,
dog is
but
sick, so I feel really bad because I've had my dog since 2012, and she has a tumor and she's not doing well, and she's
oh,
going
I'm
to
sorry to
probably
hear that.
pass on. Yeah, and she's been a part of the family for
No,
that
I have a
long.
visitor now, so I've had a Bernie Doodle for the last 3 months. It's an absolute joy, really.
Yeah.
But if I was on my own, I could not have a dog because if it is not COVID times, I travel quite a lot and I spend a lot of time out of the house. So I think a dog needs a family. So once again, this is for single ladies. If you cannot commit to have a dog, that's fine. You can always just go down to Animal House and pick up a sign says
Beware
be
the
aware
dog.
of the dog,
Okay.
or get a big dog ball, just leave it in front of the front door. So if it is a crazy ass or a stalker,
Okay.
we'll just say, oh wow, she got herself a big dog. She wouldn't get a big ball for a chihuahua, but I better
Right.
stay alone.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. But definitely a dog is good or beware of the dog sign. And then also the last point was hire a local security company. That's always good. Yeah. And
I tell you
so
what, I'm quite challenged when it comes to gadgets and these technical devices. And we have so many great companies, security companies here. Just phone them up, tell them what your safety concerns are, and I'm sure they will tailor make a package just to meet your needs.
wow. So they'll be able to just customize that and make your home safe for you. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope to see you on Friday afternoon.
Absolutely. I plan on coming. Renata Kachkiss, she is the author of Running for Safety. She has invited us all out to Luca on Friday evening, March the 5th from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. You want to go out there, you want to meet her, you want to pick up your copy of the book, you want to pass it on to people. You also want to check her out on her social media platforms, Renata, RENATAK. So it's Renata K. And
self-protection int.
self-protection int. Okay. Check her out. Definitely add her on Instagram, like her on Facebook. Check out her just the whole, what do you call it? Self-defense classes and stuff. Definitely. This was Wellness Wednesdays. That's where you were tuned into. And let me tell you something. I feel even better. I have this book. Thank you for my copy. I will see you on Friday. Thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us. We'll talk with you again tomorrow. You have a great afternoon. I hope that you guys all, if you're not home yet, you're almost there and you're able to just relax and do it again tomorrow. Take care. Have a great evening.
Nice conversation we had, huh?